So hey everyone, I'm here in my garage area, which I'm trying to convert into an actual studio, but for now it's more or less a shop space, and it's not like insulated and all of that, but so the neighbors are going to enjoy the little entertainment this morning. So this is a Hammond colonnade. It was built in the mid-70s, and it's kind of toward the deluxe end of the old home organs, and it has the auto play, auto rhythm, easy play features that were used in the 70s, and these were meant to be actual teaching tools. Now, how far most people went with them, well, not very far, but certainly with the technology of the time, this was, had pretty cheesy possibilities. But just for fun, let's take a look at it. Now, right off the bat, you have a built-in rhythm machine that provides some kind of drum beat, and then other percussive type instruments. And the main thing is that you can have an entire chord just with one note, and that was kind of the primary easy play thing that these instruments had, so people could do a real easy thing. And so you would have just some simple music with just chords and melody, and you could pretty easily put together an arrangement of sorts. Now, of course, the idea was that eventually you would turn off some of the easy play features, so get rid of the one finger chord, and you could hold down your own chords and it would still know which bass note and everything to do. And then over time you would learn to do some of this yourself. And if you were ever in one of the pizza parlor pipe organ setups back in the 70s, of course you know that they had lots of percussion instruments, and that's the way theater organs were built. And so you could assign a percussion instrument, say a ride cymbal, to the pedal, and then maybe a tambourine or something to the keyboard. In this case, of course, this is real primitive synthesis, and there's not a lot of difference between what they're calling a cymbal and a brush, which would be just a brush on a snare drum. Whatever. But anyway, this is eventually how it was done properly if you were leaning towards being a professional musician. And so the idea was that over time you would learn how to play properly. Not a lot of people actually took it that far back in the day, but in the 70s, when I was first learning to play the organ, these things were ubiquitous, and pretty much every house had one. And my grandfather was in the oil business primarily as a salesperson, and he was always off at people's ranches and farms and things, and anytime he saw that they had one of these organs, he would actually book me a gig when I was still like 13, 14 years old. And I had these music books at the time, which were actually fairly current, and I could show up, and I knew how to do most of the basics. And so I would come out and I wouldn't use any of the auto rhythm or easy play features. I would just sit down and play, and most people were like, oh wow, that's cool. And I could take requests and that kind of thing. And I remember one place in particular, they had an organ about this size, and they had set it up kind of like a piano bar, so there was a big deck around it and a drink mixing station, and these people put together a really elaborate party, and I think I got $20 to play for 2 hours, and I took requests, and everybody was really impressed. And that was a way I got introduced to being a professional, and really having a good time playing the organ. Now, obviously on a machine like this, the musical possibilities are pretty cheesy. But in the 80s, these were replaced by cable TV and video rental. I think we really lost something with that, because here's the thing. This is a nice, well-built, rugged piece of equipment. It was meant to be the focal point of whatever room it was in, and it was intended for you to learn how to entertain your guests. And even if you never got past playing a simple melody with the easy play auto chords and all of that, you still could entertain your guests reasonably well. You certainly could have a little fun sing along, and if you had enough drinks in you, who cares how cheesy the music is. These just disappeared in the 80s, and I actually kind of think that's a shame. For me, this was a chance to get my hands on keys and pedals that I could learn to play on, and it got me my first gigs. And so this is a piece of fond nostalgia for me. I'd love to keep this particular instrument, but it's for sale on eBay right now because with the pandemic and everything, I need the money, and I kind of need the space too, and maybe I'll run into another one of these later on down the road.